Well, hello everybody, it's Bella here from Bella's Crafty Studio, and it's our collaboration, hooray! We've waited a long time for this, haven't we? 2 months, well, 1 month actually. Anyway, tips, tricks and hacks. And this collaboration is between RachandBellaCrafts. And we put this on for a fabulous lineup for February with some wonderful collaborators, as you can see here. And if you want to do a screenshot of this, there it is. I think you're in screen, so I'll hold it up a bit closer so you can take a screenshot. And let's get started. Now, my collaboration is all about lace. So I'm going to move this out of the way and turn it over, and I shall start with some tips. First of all, put our hand cream on when handling lace. So I've just put my hand cream on because it will catch, especially when you've got fine lace like this. So just remember, put your hand cream on. So that's the first one. If you want to make your lace jaggedy, then use your scissors and flick it out and make it all different shapes. And if you want to make it look old, really tug on it and pull it. Okay, let me just pop that in the... This third one is, you can stretch it. I've just done that one. Especially with the loose lace that I have, you know, you get off the tablecloth, and you can really pull it out of shape like this and make it as old looking as you like. All right, so that's that one. And the fourth tip is, if you have cheesecloth and you wet it and scrunch it up and leave it to dry for layering onto your clusters, you get lovely creases in it, and you can really scrunch it up. I'll get some in a minute and I'll show you. In fact, I've got some that I've dyed here as well. And when it's wet, if you scrunch it up, I mean, I was going to use this for my garden for the Roxy Creations, but I'm not going to do it. I've changed my mind. And while it's wet, this wasn't 100% wet, but screw it up like this and you get lovely creases in your cheesecloth for when you're putting it onto your clusters or onto anything where you want some, you know, some depth. Number 5, if you haven't got the right colour to match your journal, dye the lace with inks, watercolour or acrylic paint. I was before myself, wasn't I? So there we are. So that's what I've done with the inks. You know, just the inks like this. All right. And I've dyed them mostly green because, as I say, I was trying to, and you could use watercolour as well if you wanted to, or acrylics if you put water with them. Better to have water-based paints. So you can do all kinds of things on your lace. Make it whatever colour you want. So if you have plenty of white lace and you want a pink lace, then dye it. Don't go out buying more. So that was that. So let me put that over there. And you can take a photo shot of that if you want to. I'll leave it there a second. You're getting instructions with this one, aren't you? So what have we got here? Where to find lace? Where would we find lace? Right. Well, Rach and I, we scour everywhere. We go everywhere and look everywhere. Let me just make sure this is in shot. If you go into a thrift shop or a charity shop here in the UK, you can find baby dresses, bridesmaids dresses, veils. We've all got those hidden away somewhere from weddings. And if you haven't got one, then chat up your niece or, you know, or your daughter, whomever has been married a long time, because they won't want to cut up a new one, will they? Wedding dress material, especially with the plique work. Underwear. Now, I tell you the truth, I have cut up some of my bras. Don't tell anybody, but I have. And they had beautiful lace on there, so I kept the lace. They just got out of shape, so I didn't bother wearing them anymore. So good enough. They've all been washed. They're clean. Neck curtains, which is what I just showed you here. This one was neck curtains. That's good to go behind the clusters I make. Lace handkerchiefs. Anything with lace on and you see it in a charity shop, don't go out buying brand new. Get it as, you know, as cheaply as you can, and just collect it. Children's clothes, especially with embroidery anglaise. I'll show you some embroidery anglaise in a moment when I go through my drawers. Where are my children's clothes? I've done that. Night dresses. Now, especially collect your buttons off your night dresses. If you've got night dresses that are old and have got lace on them, cut it off. Now, you can ask your friends and family, your great aunt or your mum, if they have any lace. Ask around. You never know. People have all kinds of things in their closets. You can buy lace on Etsy, eBay, in the charity shops, thrift shops, flea markets, haberdashery or fabric shops. You can get it anywhere. I tend to get mine mostly from eBay and the charity shops, so I mostly get mine from. Now, how do you store them? Well, I wish I could take my camera down without shaking it, but I'm going to have to pull the drawers out instead. So I've got these plastic drawers. They're for makeup actually, but a lot of us are using these, and I tend to put my lace in these drawers. So that's the lace I'm working on for my clusters at the moment. So I'm keeping that in there nice and neat, and I pull it out as I'm going along. I have all kinds of drawers. I have lace in this one. I have some doilies in that one. Some applique work that has come off something there, and they go back into the drawers as you'll hear them sliding. Now, I colour code mine, don't laugh, but I do. Excuse the noise. And that's my reds that I was using at Christmas, which I haven't tidied up yet, but it will be tidy. So that goes back in there. And let me move my hand cream out of the way, and I'll show you some blue. I've got some blue lace in this drawer. I might stand up to make sure you can see all this. So that's my blue drawer. Remove that. That's my white drawer with my lace in. This is sort of embroidery anglaise here that I was talking about, that you find on the edge of nighties and things like that. So Rachel managed to buy this from a lady, and she'd obviously torn it off something. So find people who are giving up their hobbies, and I'm sure they'll help you out. That's another lot I've got in there. These are very, very handy, and I've got them on my desk right in front of me. And I've also got my, let me just show you this. I keep all my needles together as well. So all my needles are there. And what else have I got? I've got that one in there. So these makeup drawers are wonderful. Now, I'll put those to one side. I don't want to try and get those back in. Now, this is what I call the crochet lace. And I keep it in this lovely little carrying bag. And I've got all the heavy lace, the crocheted lace in there. Okay, things like this. And I tend to use these, this sort of thing as pockets. This goes down the side of the page or goes on the front of a journal cover. And so does that, because they're quite thick. But that's what I use sometimes along the bottom of the journal cover. Now this has come off something, and it had, you know, like when they ruche them up. Cut the ruching off, cut the bit there, and then it'll go flat. So don't be put off by something that is already, you know, gathered. That's the word I'm looking for, gathered. This is lovely lace, and I keep all this kind of thing together. And that's church lace, that is, off a church tablecloth. I've got that in there as well, and that's very modern. That's not an old one. But it all goes in here, so you're getting the idea. So I keep all my crocheted lace together so that I can find it and I know what I'm looking for. If you just bundle it all into a box, it's very difficult when you're trying to find something on a particular journal or a job that you're doing. And I'll show you another one. I'll put that one down there a minute. And this one, if you bear with me a minute, because this is big. Now, don't laugh when I tell you this. But we were at church, I can't remember what the occasion was, and they brought cakes, the cake ladies. So I said to whomever, I said, oh, please, can I have the box? It's got a bit tatty now because it was in my drawer. And I kept it by the side of me in my drawer. And there's more crochet lace in there. So anything you can get your hands on that will organise you, do it. Doesn't matter what it is. And it goes down quite a lot. I've got quite a lot in here. And it's all neatly folded up so you can see it and grab it. So there, that's that. So that's how you store your lace. And then out of space. Right, let me just pop that up there a second. You can store them on a spool. You can store them on card. I've got a card here. I've got one of these here that I made. It's only paper, but it worked. And, you know, you can get these off Etsy or make your own. And you can pin them on there and stick them on there. And that's easy. On rails, and I tell you something else, which I forgot to put down here, but I've got them by here, are these pegs. And you can put the lace around there as well. And that winds on there beautifully. And if you have a nice big mug or something, you can stand them up in the mug like that whilst you're working on them, so they look rather attractive on your desk. So that's another item that you could use. Little makeup drawers, which I've shown you. Boxes. Now, boxes. I've just shown you one box. This is my antique lace from Rachel. I hope you're in shot now. So that's how I keep all the antique ones together. And I know I have to get them all out. And I have to, because she's got layers of paper there. And I tend to keep it all in this lovely box. And I know that everything in there is special. So I'm not going to get it all out because you've all seen it before anyway. Oh, he's put something. Excuse me a minute, I'll have to turn you off. There's a bell going. Oh, no, it stopped. Sorry about that. Life gets in the way sometimes, doesn't it? Right, so that's that. So that's that. Boxes, baskets. I've shown you the basket. Over a hanger. If you've got a little hook on your door, or if you've got a hook around the room, then put them over a hanger. I didn't bring one in to show you. I meant to do that, but... And if you really wanted to be organised, put them in their colours. I usually separate mine into little drawers, as I've shown you. All right? So I've got blue, and I've got pink ones. I'll show you the pink, so I'm not telling fibs. There's the pink one. These stiffer ones, you've got a job to get them to stay down, so I tend to turn it over and push it down like that. So that's those. So there's all my colours in those drawers. Okay? Now, different types of lace. Vintage antique, as I've just shown you in my little box. The synthetic ones tend to be more like this. All right? Crochet lace I showed you, which was in my basket. I'm bending down now to pick it up. That tends to be these, what I call the crochet lace, the thicker stuff. All right. Ticking, I've got somewhere in one of my drawers, but I can't put my hands on it at the moment. I'll put it ready to show you, but I don't know which drawer it's in. And the other thing I've got in a little container, these little containers are good too. And I keep this sort of thing in here. And these are from Vita in Ukraine. These are beautiful, aren't they? That's my ribbon for ribbon sewing. And I tend to keep this sort of thing in here as well. You can put anything in these drawers, whatever you like in them. I'm not trying to sell you these drawers because I bought them from Wilkinson. I should have told you that, shouldn't I? The ladies that are in UK, Wilkinson sells these. And also doilies. Now also I keep in baskets. When I'm doing the clusters, I separated all the, here's some doilies in here. I put my material in there that I'm cutting up to make my clusters. And all the big stuff goes in these baskets here. There's a doily there. Just so you know what I'm talking about. One of those crochet doilies. And that one. So I'm showing you everything now that I do, and believe it or not, just to make little clusters. I've got this here with all my bits in that I've been putting on the clusters. Okay, so there's that as well. But I'm organised. I know it may not seem as if I'm organised, but I am. Believe you me, I am. And it makes life so much easier. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to tidy that up. And I'm going to show you what I've been making with my lace. Some of you will have seen these already. And some of you, if you're new, welcome, by the way. If you are new to my YouTube, you're very welcome, and I hope you'll stay, and I hope you'll give me a like and a thumbs up, and press the subscription bell. That would be wonderful, just to help us ladies along. And this is how you can use your lace. I'm going to stand up to make sure I'm in shot. There's one. Depending how big you want to make them and what they're going to be for, these I would tend to put on top of a journal cover as a topper, I would say. You can put buttons on, but you can layer the lace up in lots of different ways. Okay? These are sweet, aren't they? These are going in my Etsy shop soon, so I've sold some already, but I've made lots more, as you can see. So I'm just showing you what you can do when you have the lace and you have them to hand. Aren't they sweet? And slow stitching on the top just tops it off, I think. And I've done some French knots on there, look. Okay. So there I've laid up different laces on that one. I'll hold it down there so you can see. And they're all layered. See the stitching on the back. And it's just, and I haven't glued any of these, by the way. There's no glue on any of them. And I was just making some with our new kit, which is, I've got to give Rachel a plug, haven't I? Letters of Love. And I've just put those onto material so that I can make some now for the Valentine's journal that we'll be doing. And I've just printed them off onto fabric, and then I'm layering them up now just to start sewing those. With the magic of technology, I've been able to stop and start my video. So here's what I've been talking about. And I'm putting this on the end of my video. That's where I was recording there, where I don't usually record, but today I did. And here are my drawers that I've been telling you about. There's the one that Rachel gave me there. And that's where I've been stitching. And that's my baskets, and I'm keeping that there. My hand cream. So, there we go. Okay, so I thought I would show you how I dye my lace, my bits and bobs. That there has obviously got some coffee on it. So that, but I'm going to show you that anyway. So I'm going to put one knot in the blue, and I'm just going, and now, before I start, I need to tell you what paint I've used. This is just acrylic paint from the Watch Shop. Premium acrylic paint. It's very thick, this one, so get the cheapest you can find, but you have to use a brush to work out, get rid of all the lumpy bits of paint before you start. You want it clear like this, and it will settle in the bottom, so you just need to put your brush in and work it around, or work it around with your fabric if you want to, before you start. So we'll put the blue, we'll make the blue lace first. All right, I've done some already, which has been drying. So I'll just put that there, stand that up there a minute. So I'm going to just put all these little bits together into the lace, into the water, sorry, where the paint is. Use my brush, push it down where the water is, like so. Turn it over. All right, you're getting the idea? and swish the water around. You don't want too much water in there because it dilutes the paint too much. So you work out how you want to, the depth that you want your blue to be. And I've been adding little by little, and that's come out a nice colour now. But then you've got to remember, so leave it in there a little minute. You have to remember that when you wring it out, when you know, with your hands to get the water out, it will lose some of the colour. So it's not going to be this dark. All right. And the other thing is, you know, the netting, I said the curtain netting, that doesn't get very dark. It does change a little bit. So let me just show you now what I do. I'll put those in there so they can start soaking in there. Hopefully you can see that. All right, and I'll just swirl my brush out a minute, get the blue out. Excuse my arm. And then I can push these down then. There's a little bit more in here because I was using the blue quite a bit. I got some sari silk in there as well. You can put material in them. You know what I didn't do? I didn't stir the bottom, but never mind, doesn't matter. You get the idea. I'll leave that in there a minute. Now, so I haven't got any pink on my fingers. I've got my plate ready to put them on. I've got a tray over here that I've been doing some already. So gather it up. You can use a bigger bowl if you want. If you've got a lot, then obviously use a bigger container. All right. So it's come out quite blue, isn't it? So I'm really pleased about that. So that one's going on there. Oh, and that's the embroidery on glaze I was telling you about, by the way. All right. So that's blue now. And I'm putting it onto white so you can see that it has coloured it. That was just a little bit of lace that I took off something that was quite thick. This is synthetic lace. That is new lace. It's not antique or anything like that. So that's worked well. Okay, I'll show you the plate in a minute. Now that's just off netting, you know, like you get a little ruffle up the top sometime. That's worked well. So obviously that little bit of extra I put in there worked, and it's made it a little bit darker. So now that is like the crochet stuff has come off a doily. All right, one of those big doilies. That's come out nicely. You can colour it whatever colour you want, and that's a little bit of crocheting as well. So that's on there. I'm really pleased with this. Now, as you can see with this one, where there was brown, obviously there's been coffee spilt on it at some point. It didn't colour that, so you won't be able to colour over a stain. So just so you know that. So that's a tip for you. You can't colour over tea stains, or especially coffee. It won't take on there, but we don't mind that, do we? Because we like the grunge anyway. So that's that. So that's those. All right. So you can see they've coloured blue. So that's how you do that one. And I'll take that one off there, and then I can do the pink one. And I'll show you the pink. But this paint is quite different to the... Oh, and the other thing I was going to say, when you're using, if you use watercolours, you may only have watercolours, that's fine. If you try them out on a piece of paper, put the water, less water in first, and you'll get a stronger colour, obviously. If you put more water with it, and you spread it out on your watercolour paper, you will notice that it gets thinner. Ultramarine, you can fade it out, because that's what we do with skies. Now you want to find ones with pigment that doesn't lose the colour when you put water into it. If you want a deeper colour. If you only want something pale like this, that's fine, that's okay. But this was really strong. I had to keep on diluting that. So that's the colour I wanted. So that's the colour it's come out. So there's a little bit of net in there with some lovely, well, crochet, I would say that is. I'm not quite sure what that is on there, but, and I tell you, the cotton will take quickly. The cotton material takes better than the synthetics, depending on how long you leave it in there, I think. So that's come out quite well. Don't know whether you can see. It is pink. All right. And that was the sari silk. Now that's interesting because that hasn't done hardly anything. So sari silk is a reject. That didn't work. So just so you know, you would have to use the you know, the Tim Holtz inks for that, I would imagine, if you wanted to do that. That's worked well. And this is gauze, what we use on bandages. And that's lovely. That's gone well because it's cotton. Okay, so that's that. So that's really nice. And that's what I did with the greens. And that's cotton, so that's come out really well. I think the cotton is more absorbent, you know. And that one. Now this one was out of my basket, so it was more of a creamy colour. That has taken as well. So that's good. That's excellent. That's cotton there, and that's pink. That's definitely pink, and you can see it there on the piece of paper. And I'll hold it up now, and you can see it. That's just a little bit that fell in. So there's the pink. All right, and there's the gauze, and that's come out really well. And so has this one. That one's no good at all, but you can see that the pink on there has worked really well. These are dry. These are what I did. I did yesterday these. I'll leave that there, you can see it better probably. That didn't come out. That's blue actually. That is blue. And that one's blue. But they're quite pale compared to the ones I've just done. So they can go over there with the blue, and I'll show you the difference. I'll bring it over. And you can see that is not quite as dark. I put more paint in, that's what I'm trying to say. So that came out really pale, but it is blue. It definitely is blue. It's not white any longer. That one, oh, that was pink, sorry. I'm telling fibs. That was pink, so that can go on there. But they're very pale. These I did while I was practicing, and that's come out pink-ish. They could go back into the stronger solution, actually. These are ones I did earlier. That one's okay, that's nice and blue. So that's a lovely blue. Now I think I must have had some pink on my brush when I put it in the blue, first of all, and it's come out like a pinky blue. It's not purple, but it's a pinky blue, so that can go on there. But it's not, it is a different colour to the pink, as you can see. All right, so you can mix your colours and you can make them whatever colour you want, and that's the cheapest way to do it. So if you've got lots of white, this is what I'm saying. The tip is, don't go out buying coloured lace when you can colour it yourself. All right, so that's that session, and I shall stop the camera now and we'll move on to the next session. Okay, just to finish off this session then, I thought I'd show you how I use my lace and what I put it on and how I apply it. So you've already seen these little clusters. So they're all done. I finished those off last night because I've done this over a couple of days, this video. And that's out of Rachel's new kit, the Valentine's one, the love letters. And let's start with, let me do that one at the end. Let me just start with these. This is a little book that I did, and I've laid up different materials and lace on here. So this will give you some idea, and you can do this on as large as you like or as small as you like, all right? So they're just layered. And also inside I've put lace down here. I've actually sewn that on top of the lace there. So that was that. See, you can see through it there. And I put little bits of lace in there. This is just my little project book that I do when I'm watching Katharina from Katharina and Giglio. And there's little, see, that's off like wedding material, because that was, I think that was out of my daughter's wedding dress. I'm pretty sure it is. That's just the crochet stuff I showed you earlier. And I put a little bit of cross stitch down there. And also you can use these as pages. All right, and that's material I've used, and I've stiffened that with matte medium. Oops, sorry, with this. Sorry, that was noisy. All right, and that make it a bit stiffer, but don't put too much on. You could do it with PVA as well. All right, so that's that, and that's those. And this is what I do with some of the stuff I do. Some lace there, and lace at the back as well. So. And that's another piece there, that's waiting to go on there because I'm still working in this. All right, so that's that one, so that can go over there. Let me show you this one. This is my gratitude journal. that I made last year, and to be honest, I just put it on the shelf and I forgot all about it, but I found it now. So that's material. That's the crocheted lace I was telling you about. I don't know whether it's crochet, I'm not sure what you call that, but that's what I'm calling it anyways. That's the crochet lace. All right, and let me just see if you're in screen, because when we move things, it tends to go off screen, doesn't it? There we are. And I put that down there. These were napkins that I bought. All right, so you can put bits of lace on anything. You can even use lace like this as a topper. I'm doing this for the newbies, those that are just starting out. You professionals, you know all about this, so you can watch this or not. It's entirely up to you. I'm just showing you how you can use lace. You can put it on the edge of pockets. I put them on the edge of pages, just for decoration down there to make the page look pretty. And there, toppers again there, and that's rickrack, what we call rickrack. All right, and I'll put lace down there again. I have, with my prayer journals, I put a lot of lace down the edging, lace like this sort of thing. This one is just quite plain really, but that's that one, so that's my gratitude one. This is the one I'm working on at the moment, and I put lace on the, down here. This is what I would call, I've forgotten the name, embroidery on glaze type thing, and that's that one. All right, so you can put them on the edge of your journals. This is a Christmas one that I did, and I put, as I was telling you before, I put them at the base of the journal. I don't think I've done any on the pages on this one. No, I haven't. I put them in on little bits there like that. So that's the Christmas one. Oh, and the other thing you can do, you can put lace behind if you've got a focal picture that goes on the front of your journal. But this one, I know some of you slow stitchers will be interested in this. I have shown this before. This is what I made when Anne Brooks was doing hers. I didn't quite do it the same way as she did, because I didn't follow everything. Because I was just beginning, so I just did it my own way. So this has got lace down here. It's got lace going across there, and lace, and it's really just collage with fabric and lace. Okay, so just to give you some ideas what you can, the 2 pages sewn together there, that's why it's quite thick. All right, and I did tie it with some lace in the middle as well. There, look. Okay, so I put that all around the edge there. I'm just showing you what you can do with lace. Little bits of lace that comes off doilies, cut it up, little bits like this. And these, I just love this. And I made Rachel one as well, and I know she's shown you hers as well at some point, the ones that have been with us a while. And especially on the edge, they look nice on the edge, I think. So yeah, I was pleased with this, and it's been sitting up on my shelf, and I get it down from time to time, just feeling it. It just feels so lovely. So if you like slow stitching, there's some ideas for you, but it's not my idea, it was Anne Brooks. And as I was saying about the Roxy Creations wall hanging or on the reel, the big reel like this, I'm not doing it because we are trying to find a house, and to be honest, it's quite involved. I will do it, but I'm going to do it after I've moved, so I'll catch up in a few months' time. This is another way that you can use lace and use it like this. Which way is the writing? That way, I think. And I think this is quite pretty, and see how lovely you can layer up the bring it down a bit, I think, there, and I'll move my lovely book out the way, and all bits of applique and things like that, and that's on just a reel. All right, so there we are. So I've shown you all that you can do with lace, where to find it, where to buy it, but try and get it as cheaply as you can, because it can be quite expensive. So I just want to say thank you for watching. Just keep watching the collaboration, because I know it's going to be a great success. And well done, Rachel, for organising this again. I'm really proud of you. So I'll say goodbye for now then, and I shall see you again soon. So take care, everybody.